Hey guys, it's Aaron or Tiger or however the hell you know me, and welcome to my 4-year Japanese update. Woo! Uh, if you haven't seen my other videos, there's like a lot of them. I suggest just going back and watching those before you watch this, so you can kind of like see the progression, I guess. Or if you just want to watch this, be my guest. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not your parent. Um, so basically, just like every other video, I have no script. No script. I got like a topic list. So I'll go through and I'll talk about some stuff and be like, hey, this is what went down. This is what didn't go down. This is how I feel. All that jazz. So I don't know how long this video will be, but probably like an hour. I don't know. I can talk and like be a monster. So without any further ado, let's begin. Also, it's early in the morning and for some reason I have energy, so that's why I'm moving around and stuff. So it's not normally how I am in the morning. I don't know what's going on today, but I'm feeling good. So to start, I just want to say thanks to everyone watching this, everyone who like has sent me a DM on any of the millions of social media platforms that I get DMs on, and I'm sorry first of all if I take long to respond. I'm terrible with DMs. I'm getting better slightly, attempting. I think I say this every time, but like I'm actually like getting better. I think a little bit. But thanks for all like cool messages, like people saying that like I inspire them to like read manga or just to like go harder at Japanese. Like to me that stuff means the world, and honestly I think it's cooler than like the fact that I'm fluent. Yeah, I said it. Spoiler. That I'm fluent in Japanese. I think that stuff's cooler because when I started learning, I would watch the AJATT update videos from different people like Phantom Madman, Chris, and like I would literally be like, man, like these people are so cool. And like I send them DMs sometimes too, like I need help with this, or like, man, dude, thanks for this video. Like it's actually super helpful, and like it's having like helping me push through this like grind part that I'm at. So like getting those messages myself is like really cool, and like I kind of just I don't know, it makes me like think about it a lot, and like I'm just really grateful and thankful and happy that you guys are all learning Japanese, getting better, and that I maybe have a little bit of help. I have a helping part of that, so thanks for that, and I hope everyone's doing great and your Japanese is going well. And if it's not going well, that's fine. If it's not going well, that's fine. It's not the end of the world. Try to remember that. So yeah, now let's actually get into like the stuff that I want to talk about the thing. So I got my topic list. Let's pop that onto the side. If you see me looking this way, it's because that's where my camera is on OBS, even though the camera's right there. So I'm like kind of a mess, but I'll try and look at the camera as much as possible. So to start, I have these. Yeah, we're just gonna go in order that I have them written down. And if I think of things on the way, I'll just start rambling, and then in the comments you guys will be like, this guy didn't talk about the thing I wanted for 30 fucking minutes because all he was doing is talking about this bullshit. So you can do that, I don't care. I'm just going to like talk and we're going to go with the flow and we'll see what happens. Because I think that's the best way to do these videos. So start, we'll talk about my current level. All I have written down is how I feel about my current level. Wow, thanks Past Me. You really helped me out in terms of giving me things to talk about. But I don't know. It's one of those ever-changing things that I think everyone who hits a certain level agrees that you're never really happy with it. Also, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Before I start, if I repeat anything that I said in previous videos, I apologize, but like that just means my opinion didn't change on the thing. I'm just going through things that I think are important to talk about every year with the yearly milestone type thing. So I'm sorry if I said this already. But yeah, I think as you get better, you're never satisfied and you're like, damn dude, like I suck. And sometimes you're like, oh, like this is easy. Like I go to the movie theater, I watch a movie, it's all in Japanese, walk out, and I'm like, okay, I understood the entire movie, and there were maybe some words I didn't understand, but it's not like they mattered at all because I picked up either what they meant through context, or they just weren't like super important anyway, and I kind of you just shimmy through it, and you'll walk out the other side with no problem. So yeah, I don't know. Some days I wake up and I'm like, I'm good. other days I wake up and I read something, or I'm talking to someone and they say something and I don't understand what the fuck they said, and I just in my head I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back home. Like I'm done. Like I can't do this shit. This isn't for me. Also, other days you wake up and you look at Japanese and your brain just goes, I don't even want to fucking read this right now. Like you're just like tired of it. Like that was yesterday, honestly. Like I woke up yesterday. I was going into work. I was on the train, and I'm just like looking out the window, and I see like all these signs and everything, and I just like I'm reading it, and I'm just like, I hate this. Like literally for a minute, I was like, I don't even want to look at this right now. Like I'm just so over it and tired of looking at Japanese. I can't do it. And then I get to work, and then it's as if that feeling didn't exist at all. So it just like it really changes on the day how I feel about how good I am, or even my feelings on like Japanese at that moment, because like if it's not your native language, being in something 24/7 is so tiring no matter how good you get. Even if it doesn't feel tiring in the moment, eventually the fatigue builds up, and that's why yesterday was one of those days where it's just like, man, I don't even want to read the stupid sign for Matsuya. Like I just don't care. Like I don't even want to read it. But like I look at it and I read it instantly and I understand it, so it's not like it takes effort, but it's like I just look at it and I'm like, oh my god. Like that's how I felt. But other than that, I think I still can get better, and I'm going to get better. I don't like saying these things because when I say them, I feel like I end up going back on them, and I don't do it. But I've been doing Anki consistently for the last 30 days. I haven't made cards all of those 30 days. I've made a good amount of cards, but there were probably the last 2 weeks-ish. I made maybe like 30 cards total. But like, at this point, for me, making 30 cards, that's 30 new words. That's pretty awesome. Like, even though, like, obviously there's more than 30 new words that I do not know, like, adding to my already extensive vocab of 30 words is like, all right, cool. Like, we're chilling. So, like, I don't really care about how many words I get, as long as I'm semi-consistent. But I care about doing the reviews and keeping these new words that I am getting to actually get them in my long-term vocab, because I liked Donkey a lot when I first did it, and then I stopped, and I don't think I had stagnant growth, but the difference between using Anki and not using Anki, and then realizing how much better you get when you use Anki is like, all right, dude, I gotta go back. So I went back, and I'm really liking it, and I'm hopefully consistently doing it still. By the time you watch this video, if you're watching this in like a year, hopefully in my 5-year update, which who knows if I'll come out. I keep saying every video I'm not going to, but who knows? I think I'll make a yearly video probably anyway because it's fun. But who knows? Maybe I won't be doing Anki. So that really helps me feel like I can get better, and I am getting better. So other than that, like, I read what I want to read. Like, if I put like, most of my manga, if you've ever looked at my manga page, this all ties into current level, by the way. I'm not just rambling. I am, but I'm not, okay? If you look at my manga page, it's all, like, easy. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't read anything super hard. Like, the hardest thing I've read is Berserk, and I read 10 volumes, and that was, like, 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago. So, like, back then it was kind of hard, but, like, now, I don't know. I'm gonna reread it. I'm gonna go back because I want to catch up eventually, but I don't know. It's probably not crazy difficult. There's probably words I don't know, but it's probably not, like, oh my god, it's so hard. But, like, other than that, like, all the manga I read is easy. It's, like, slice of life, shoujo manga, like, romantic comedy stuff. Like, it's not hard, which means, like, I can like, some volumes, depending on, like, the amount of words there, I'm finishing that in 30 minutes. Like, I mean, like, it's, like, I start, and by the time I look at the clock, it's done. And I'm like, whoa, it was 30 minutes ago. Or, like, 40 minutes. I feel like the average is, like, it's rare I hit 30 minutes. That's, like, something that doesn't have a lot of text. Like, Oshimi Shuzo, like, manga, his manga. Dude, I can read that with my eyes closed because there's, like, no text. But, yeah, like, 45 minutes. That's a long time, an hour. And, like, I've had times where I'm reading a manga, and it takes an hour till it's done. But that's because I took, like, a 5-minute break, took a 10-minute break, like, I don't always just sit down and read from start to finish, but when I do, probably gonna take me 40 minutes ish. So I like that. So I'm pretty content with stuff like that. I do want to get a little faster, but overall, pretty happy about it. Any games I want to play, no problems really. Look up words if I have to, but other than that, I don't really have to. The main theme of my current level is I do not have to look up words if I don't want to. If I don't look up the words, it almost never completely makes me not understand. But if I look it up, it might help the understanding a bit more. But the only things I'm missing is probably like small details that I'm just like, I don't feel like looking it up. Let's just move on. And so I'm okay with it, honestly. Don't hate it. I don't love it either. I do want to get better, and that's why I'm doing the Anki stuff. But other than that, I don't know, dude. It's kind of nice. It's cool. It's kind of like what I always wanted when I started, and now we're here, and it feels pretty cool. So, yeah, I'm overall happy about it. That's probably the overall theme in this video is I'm happy, and I think you'll notice that, and I think that's a good thing, and I'm very content with that, basically. So yeah, I think that's about it on the current level. I'll probably go. I don't know what else I wrote. I didn't reread this, so I don't know. This is a surprise for all of us what I'm going to talk about. But I'm sure I'll go into more stuff in detail later. And if not, I'll just start spewing garbage. So you'll get some content, I promise. Next, this is probably one everyone wants to hear about. Living in Japan. So I'm living in Japan. Been living here since February. So we're going on like 5 months ish. About to hit the 5-month mark. So yeah, I'll talk a bit about all that stuff, because I'm sure this is probably the thing most people want to hear about and are interested in. So, first bullet point I have written is experience living in Japan, talking to people, making a bank account, getting a phone contract, going to the ward office, all that jazz. This video might have some hot takes because I've been sitting on them for a while and I'm ready to unleash. Start with talking to people. At first, still kind of nervous. Like every time I like go to Japan, leave Japan, come back to Japan. Every time I start in Japan, like having to talk to anybody is like for some reason it's terrifying. It's probably just me being an anxious person. In America, I didn't really want to talk to people either. Like, I didn't want to... I'd use the self-register. I'd order mobily if I could. Like, I'm not talking to people if I don't have to. So, it's a little bit of that and a little bit of, oh no, what if I screw up the Japanese? Oh no, what if I don't understand what they'd say? Oh no, what if I can't hear them? But it's, it gets easier since I've been here, and now that we're 5 minutes in, I don't hesitate to leave the house and go somewhere. If I need to go somewhere, I'm just gonna go. Whereas maybe right at the beginning, I'd be like, oh, I don't want to go. So, yeah, it just gets easier. It's kind of like, okay. And then you learn the pattern. Go to the local supermarket. They ask you if you have a points card. You say no. Because even though you live here for 5 months, you still haven't made the points card. Because making the point card, you can't do it online. You have to go to the little like kiosk area, receptionist kiosk thing in the grocery store, and then talk to someone and then make the point card. And I just don't care. So I'm not doing it. So I don't have the point card, so I always say no. They always ask you if you want a bag, and I always say no because I just bring my backpack because I'm like, oh, I got no money. We're saving the 3 to 5 yen on this bag. I'm putting it all in my backpack. I'm not spending 3 yen every time I'm here, damn it. So you say no to that, and then they're like, okay, this is how much it is. Go to this register and pay. And you're like, all right, it's cool, thanks. And that's basically it. So you learn stuff like that, and then you kind of just like go through the motions as with anything. So I don't really chill. People, I don't know. I don't get the whole Nihongo Jozu. Like, I don't get that. And I don't know if it's because I suck. Always a possibility. I don't know if it's because the only people I get it from is if I meet someone for the first time, they might say it in passing, and then I go, yeah, someone's going to night this. And then we move on, and then it's fine. But, like, if I'm at, like, a restaurant or anything, or, like, out buying something, and I talk to someone, no one's ever like, oh, Nihongo Jozu desu ne. Because I think people, like, realistically, people do not care. Because they just want to live their life, and, like, that's fine. But, so people were wondering if you get the whole Nihongo Jozu shit. You might. People probably still do get it a lot. But I think, like, the one thing I've learned is I think that was, like, entirely hyped up by the internet about that happening all the time. And even when it happens, it's like, all right, cool, thanks. I appreciate it. But you gotta say, like, yeah, someone go tonight. You gotta say that at least. But in my head, it's like, all right, cool, thanks. I appreciate it. I'm trying. I always say that. I'm still trying. Don't worry, every day. Yeah, it's fine. I'm not scared to talk to people if I have to. I don't want to ever because that's just how I am, but it's fine now. Making a bank account, dude. Anything anyone says online about like X thing is hard in Japan, it's so hard if you're a foreigner. Oh my god, you're gonna want to shoot yourself. I'm beginning to think all of those are lies or by people who do not speak Japanese. Because making a bank account was no problem. I walked in the bank. I asked the dude like, where do I go? And he's like, I'll take a ticket, and you sit down and then you wait for your number. I'm like, all right, cool. I had my like all the paperwork I needed to show like here's my Zaidu card. Like I live here. Here's like my contract for work, so you know I have a job, so you're not like freaking out that like this guy doesn't have a job, he can't get a bank account. So did that, talked to them, filled out some paperwork, and then I was out, and I had my bank account with a debit card, and it was no problem. Shout out to SMBC Olive. That's the play, dude. But yeah, I'm beginning to think people who complain about this stuff are just liars or don't know any Japanese. And if you don't know the Japanese, then honestly, you don't really have a right to complain. Sorry, well, maybe hot take, but you're in Japan, dude. Like, what do you expect? Phone contract, same thing. I wanted to do ahamo. This is very like specific to Japanese stuff, so if you don't know, don't worry about it. But you'll understand the gist of the story. I'm just using the company names because I'm too lazy to not use them. So I wanted to go with ahamo. Try to do it on my phone. It's like, whoa, no, dude, your name is like weird. What the fuck? We can't do that on the phone. And then I'm like, all right, cool. So ahamo is like a cheap plan for Docomo. So I'm like, all right. I go to the Docomo store. I walk in. I take my ticket. I sit down. I go up to the thing and I explain. I'm like, listen, try to do ahamo on my phone. It was like, no, dude, we're not doing that. And I was like, all right. So I came here. So can you just put me on like the cheapest Docomo plan possible, like literally the cheapest one possible, and then I'll go home and I'll switch it to ahamo myself, because you can do that. You can switch Docomo to ahamo really easy yourself online. I'm like, all right, can you just put me on the cheapest plan possible and I'll move it over myself. We're all good. And then she gave me the cheapest plan possible, and that was the end. And then I walked out, went home, logged into the account, switched it over to ahamo, and I've been paying for ahamo ever since. None of this was difficult. It was literally just like, I don't know, you sign a couple documents, you listen to their spiel, you say, yeah, okay, chill, and then you're good. So, like, maybe I'm just super lucky, and that's what I thought at first. But, like, and then I saw some tweets about people saying other things were easy, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's not just me, and people just are really, like, they exaggerate. Ward office, same thing. Walk in, take your ticket, go up to the person, you talk about whatever you need to do, and then you leave. Like, it's not, there's none, like, I haven't had an issue where I walked out and I'm like, that was the worst experience of my life. We couldn't do anything. Like, it was screwed. I'm a foreigner. They said no foreigners. Bad, bad, bad. Like, that never happened. And they just kind of treated me like a person, and then we did whatever I had to do, and then I left. And then I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I just haven't gotten to certain parts yet. I haven't really dealt with renting and stuff yet, because I'm living in a share house. In my experience, I literally signed the contract before I was in Japan, and I was just like, yo, coming in February, can I like get a room? And they were like, yeah, sure, let's get you a room. And like that was it. So like that was also easy. I don't know. I don't know. The only one thing I will say that is people are right about, but I don't know, they're not right about it for the reason that they think maybe. Getting a credit card. I haven't been able to get a credit card. People online will be like, oh, it's so hard for foreigners to get a credit card. Yes, but no. It's just because you don't have like credit at all. Like, yeah, Japanese people don't either when they start out, but they're Japanese, so it's easier for them to just lend to them because they're already citizens and stuff. So like it just makes sense that it would be harder if you're a foreigner without a credit to get a credit card. So I don't know why people freak out about that, but I've read online. I don't know if this is true. I'll test it out and I'll come back and I'll explain. But apparently, if you just go to like the Apple store, you buy an Apple product and you do their like monthly payment, John. Sorry, I'm using John. Oh, sorry, that was completely out of nowhere. Nobody knows what I'm saying when I say that. I apologize. You do their monthly payment thing. Um, and then after that's paid off, it kind of works as building credit, and then apparently it's easier to get a credit card after. I read that on Reddit. I don't know if it's true. Who knows? I tried to get the sticker off. It wouldn't come off, so there's still a sticker. I noticed it, so I said it because I didn't want someone to notice it and be like, this stupid idiot still has a sticker on it. But yeah, I hope that's how it works, and we'll see. But if not, it's not the end of the world. I got a debit card. I'm fine. So yeah, all that stuff, easy. Don't worry about it if you're moving to Japan. If you can speak Japanese, you're fine. Don't listen to the internet. They're all liars, or they don't know Japanese. How's it like working in a Japanese company / environment? So I work at it's like an agency type company where you basically just get you get thrown to a different company. They're like, hey, one company's like, we need people, and then they contact my company, and my company's like, okay, we'll give you people, and then you go to that company and you do work for them and stuff. So yeah, right now, my actual company, everyone's pretty sick. It's cool. Everyone's super nice, no problems. The Japanese company I'm currently at is also pretty cool and nice. I work from home basically every day unless I have to go in for something. Like this week I had to go in 3 times, but that's like not normal at all. So I don't really have a problem. No complaints. Some days you have to do overtime and you suck it up and you move on. Like my job doesn't have a crazy amount. I'm like I just graduated, just started doing stuff. So my job doesn't have a crazy amount of responsibilities at the moment. So it's not often I have to do overtime or stay after. I have a meeting on Thursdays that starts at 7 p.m. So if I'm in the office, that kind of sucks because it's like, oh shit. But if I'm at home, it's like, okay, well, I'm at home. So it's not like the end of the world. But yeah, I'm fine. I'm able to communicate with people in Japanese if I want to. My job is it's like half English, half Japanese-ish. So I have no problem with the English, obviously. Japanese, not really too much problems. If I do have a problem, I can always ask to clarify. So yeah, I'm okay. I think I also got pretty lucky. The company I'm at right now is really cool. And for privacy reasons, I'm not going to say anything about the company stuff, like either of them. But like, I'm chilling. We're chilling. Yeah. The only thing is, I wish I made more money, but that's on me. I'm at a Japanese company, not like a gaishike. So, plan right now, get some experience, and then if I want to stay in Japan, switch to hopefully a different company with more money, and yeah, figure out that. But no real complaints right now. I'm chilling. Sorry, wish there was more to say about it, but really, we're kind of just we're vibing. If you want more like in-depth answers about some of these, like if a question pops up, DM me on Twitter, DM me on Discord. Actually, DM me on Discord. Discord is 100% the best way to contact me. Even if it takes me a week, you have a much better chance of me responding on Discord than you do on Twitter or anywhere else. So I just want to say that now. Next bullet point, I said I like living in Japan, at least for the time being. Plan on staying here. We'll see if that changes in 2 years when my visa is up for renewal. But if things keep going the way that it is right now, I'll probably want to stay here 100%. Yeah, things are okay. Like life's going well. Don't really have that many friends yet. Still, the people that I met when I was here last year, everyone lives like far away and stuff. So it's kind of like it's hard. And when you don't have money, you can't go traveling all the time and go places. So don't really have any friends. Got a girlfriend though. Woo. So that's cool. Job's fine. The only shitty thing really is like you're just far away from like everyone. Like if you live in America and you move to Japan, this is probably true for other countries too, but specifically America because that's where I'm from. All of my friends that I've known my entire life, they're on the other side of the world. My family on the other side of the world. I can't just like go see them whenever I want to, and that sucks. That's probably the worst part, and it's just like damn. But like that compared to everything else, it's like I gotta live my life. Like these are the circumstances of the life that I want to live, so I just gotta kind of deal with it. And yeah, it sucks, but like It's not like I'll never see them again. It's not like they can't come to Japan. It's not like I can't go to America. Well, I mean, the yen sucks right now, so I can't go to America. But, you know, other than that, I'm pretty happy with everything at the moment. Things are going well, and I hope they stay going well. Yeah, when the visa renewal comes up, I'll go for renewal. Hopefully, I get renewed, and then yeah, we'll see. Plans is to get that renewal, and then assuming I want to stay here, get the renewal, and then that's when that'll be after 3 years. I'll have some good job experience, and then we'll try and level up. That's my plan, I think. Next bullet point. Holy fuck, living in Japan is crazy if you're a weeb loser. The amount of anime events / collabs that happen is insane, and it feels like every day there's something new that tempts me to want to go / buy something. It's so cool compared to living in the middle of nowhere PA where there was absolutely nothing to do in my life ever. Yeah, I lived in Pennsylvania, Northeast PA, fucking nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You're not doing shit in Northeast PA. Sorry. If you live in Northeast PA or have been there, you know. There's fucking nothing. You might as well just like go to Walmart because that's your fun. And that was my fun in high school, was going to Walmart. Yeah, there's like, it's crazy. Like, I went to the Atlas Festival in Akihabara. I went to the Atlas Cafe in Akihabara. There's always a tweet about like a new fucking gacha toy that comes out for like a Persona game or like a different anime, and I'm like, oh, I want it. Like, there's always like something new, and it's just like, it's awesome. It's truly the coolest thing. One of the biggest things when I was living in America that would make me sad was I like see a tweet for something I want, or like a concert, or like anything, and I'd be like, shit, like I can't. I'm not in Japan. I can't do this. Can't get this. This sucks. I'm sad. But now it's like, oh my god, there's everything. Like, literally anything I want, it's there. And thankfully I live pretty close to Tokyo, so if anything is in Tokyo, I'm like, whoop, just hop on the train and like, we're going. So that's really cool. I think that's the thing I didn't think about the most, even though like it's obvious. Just like when you come here and you move here, it's like, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. So if you're a weeb loser like me and like most people I assume watching this video who learn Japanese, you're spoiled when you live here. You're spoiled. There's literally everything and anything, and it's kind of awesome. Next thing, most of my life is in Japanese at this point. I still use English at work sometimes, talk to my friends / family in English, see a lot of English on social media, and watch English YouTube, but other than that, it's all in Japanese. Even if I don't go outside, I'm reading or watching stuff in Japanese every day, and it's just so integrated into my life that it doesn't feel like studying. This hasn't changed much compared to when I mentioned it last time. I think I mentioned it, but it's more solidified, I think. And yeah, that's basically the theme. I wake up and my phone's all in Japanese. It's been like that since like day like 30 maybe day 2. I don't know. I switched it very quickly, but whole life's in Japanese. If I read manga, it's in Japanese. If I play games, it's in Japanese. If I watch anime, it's in Japanese. If I go on Twitter, there's a bunch of Japanese tweets. If I talk to my girlfriend, it's all in Japanese. She doesn't know English. She knows a little bit of English, but it's like literally just like the bare, like the small amount. So it's like our main language that when we talk is in Japanese. Sometimes we add in English words and then we laugh because it's funny, but like, other than that, it's like 100% Japanese. So like, a lot of my life is just working in Japanese, existing in Japanese, and it's cool. It's cool. But yeah, I think I'm getting better. I don't know, dude. It's kind of hard to tell with like output and stuff because I still make stupid mistakes, and I notice instantly. Like, I'll say like, I hate this. It's pissing me off. I'll say something and I'll say iru, but I want to say aru. Or I'll switch it and do the other way around. And it's not that I don't know what is what or what to use. It's just sometimes I'm talking so fast and my brain can't catch up, and then I just say out the wrong thing, and then after like a second later I'm like, shit, and then I immediately change it. So like, it's just stuff like that where I'll screw up and I'll immediately switch it up and be like, oh, I suck, sorry. But other than that, yeah, life is Japanese. There's still a bunch of English, and I don't shy away from English like I think some people did in the community and maybe still do. I think it's not stupid. It's just not for me. English YouTube's so much better than Japanese YouTube, so I watch a bunch of English YouTube still. But like, that's while I'm reading manga in Japanese or playing a game in Japanese. So it's like, I don't obsess over what input I'm getting in what language. I just kind of live life, and I get Japanese naturally, and I get English naturally. Both, I get both of the languages just by existing. So I'm not one of those like people who are freaking out about their immersion quantities or anything. I don't track immersion anymore. I haven't in years. I kind of just I do what I want, and I do when I want it, and I just that's enough. It's truly it's enough for me, and it's fine. And I'm glad I'm at this level where I can do that. It feels nice. Next one, which is the final one for Japan living. This is the big one. If I'm asked, my answer is that I'm fluent in Japanese. Because it's easier to say that than explaining how I really feel about my level. Like I said at the top, it's confusing. Sometimes you suck, sometimes you're good. You know, all that jazz. So if someone asks, it's like, yep, I'm fluent. Okay? If someone wants to ask me. Now, if a Japanese person asks me, I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, I'm fluent. That's not what I mean. But if someone like in English were to ask me like, oh, you're fluent in Japanese, it's like, yeah, I'm pretty good. Like I'm all right. Like I'd say I'm fluent. I'm sure a lot of learners who've gotten to a high level feel the same way. Still a lot of holes and things I don't know, but overall I'm able to live no problem using Japanese, communicate effectively with friends/people at work. I can read and watch whatever I want and understand what's happening, irregardless of if there are unknown words that pop up. I feel like I said all of this word for word for the first bullet point, which is crazy because I wrote this down like the day that I wrote half a month ago probably. Don't need to rely on English translation whatsoever. So yeah, I think it's safe to say I'm fluent, even if I wish I was better than I am. Anyone would say I'm fluent, so it's probably fine to say it about myself now. And I think that's the big thing with the fluency question, especially in immersion communities. People are really hesitant to call themselves fluent because like you don't want to give yourself that title. But once you get to the point where it's pretty obvious that anyone else would call you fluent, it's probably okay to say it. Like, let's be real. Most people watching this video who have been doing this for like years, like me, you're fluent, dude. You're fluent, all right? Just say it. It's fine. It's not the end of the world if you call yourself fluent and you don't know this obscure kanji from 1950. Like, you're still fluent. It's chill. So, yeah, I think that's basically the reason why I decided, like, yeah, sure, if someone asks, I'll say it. It's because people will call me fluent, probably. And maybe if they don't, then I'm just like, I have a big ego, I guess. But I think people will call me fluent, so it's okay to be fine with saying it myself and not being like, I'm really bad, but like, you know, all that garbage. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. Still want to get better, obviously, but I've reached a basic fluency. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. Next, future plans. Talk about wanting to learn more words and increase my vocabulary. Kind of already talked about that up at the start, but yeah, just want to learn more words, increase my vocabulary. When you're reading like manga or stuff, there's a bunch of words that like small words that pop up that I don't need to know, or you can just skip and it's not like they matter. But I do want to get to the point where I can know almost every word that I can, without killing myself, obviously. So yeah, Anki, looking up words, sentence mining, the whole shebang. That's basically it. Talked about it at the start. That's what I want to do when I keep doing it, just to fill in the gaps. Because there's like tiny, if I read a manga volume, depending on the volume, it's hard to find 5 words sometimes. Like in a volume, 3, 2, 1. On like, if it's crazy, there's probably 3 new words in a volume. Usually it's like 1, maybe 2. Sometimes none, really, depending on what it is. So I just want to fill in those little holes to make as many things as I read and watch 0 new words as possible. But it's also the genres I read and watch. If I watch Attack on Titan again, which I have started, I'm trying to get back in anime sometimes. There's obviously way more words in Attack on Titan that I don't understand than when I'm reading the Rent-A-Girlfriend manga. Like, it's just obvious. But the things I read the most and watch the most, those are the ones I'm filling up those holes. And then once those holes are filled and I start moving over to different types of content that I read or watch, I'll then fill up those holes and like kind of just do it that way. I'm not trying to like force myself to do anything just to get words. I'm just kind of like, I'll do what I do. If there's anything there, I'll take it. If not, whatever, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. When am I going to take N1? Wow, the big question. I passed N2 last year. Well, I got the certificate last year in January, but it was the year before, technically in December, that I took the test. Passed it. Thought it was an easy test. So as soon as I walked out, I told my dad, I'm like, I should have taken N1. Like, I'm kind of annoyed that I wasted my time in that test, because I think I've talked about it. I sat there. I finished probably like almost an hour early, and I don't, when I do tests, I don't check my work, like go back and check every single answer. When I go through, if there's something I'm confused about or not sure of, I like mark it, and then I go back and at the end I go back and then I switch answers or do whatever, and then I just make sure every question is answered. So I had like an hour left, so I was literally just like sitting there, just like staring at a wall for an hour until the test ended, because like I was semi-confident that whatever I put down was gonna get me to pass, and I did pass. Wasn't the highest score or the best score possible, and I don't care, but I passed, and that's all. Like, that was good enough. I didn't study for the test. I just immersed and then did one practice test, and then I said, okay, cool, and then I took the real one. So when am I gonna take N1? Would like to do it this year in December, but something tells me I'm gonna be lazy and not do it. So since I'm living in Japan, probably next year in July, most likely. I think. At my company, if you pass N1, you get like 20,000 yen as like a bonus type thing for doing it. So hell yeah, give me money. So I do want to take it, obviously, for my own self and money. But yeah, that'll happen. I'm not rushing because I don't care. It's not like I need it to do anything right now. Like, it's not like there's no like wall in front of me that's like, you don't have N1, you can't do it. So it's kind of like, I'm lazy, you know. I'll probably study a little more for that than I did for N2, just because I don't want to take it and not pass. Because first of all, embarrassing, and second of all, embarrassing for me, by the way, not embarrassing for anyone. Whenever I say things like that, I then afterwards I get worried that people are applying it to their own situation. Whatever I say is me, okay, and my thoughts towards myself, not how I think about other people. My standards for myself and my standards for other people completely different. My standards for myself are way too damn high, and I need to stop. But if I take N1 and I don't pass, I'm embarrassed. So I will probably study, do a couple practice tests, review, learn some words from a word list. Just to make sure I pass it. But I don't think I'll have to do too much work to achieve that anyway. So we'll see. But probably July next year. At the very latest, December next year. But within the next year and a half, I should have it. Well, assuming nothing crazy happens. Oh my god, man, sorry, I'm talking up a storm. I still got more to go. Hold on. Water break. Everyone should also hydrate. Time is it? All right. Next one. I hope that by my 5-year mark that I'm still mining words, but it's also more rare and they're more rare words and less frequent right now. Dude, look at me. I'm spewing out my bullet points before I get to them. Right now I can still get 10 words a day pretty easily, as long as I'm reading 3 to 4 volumes of manga / playing a visual novel / watching a couple episodes of anime. If I'm doing like manga, the threshold for 10 words, 3 volumes, 4 volumes. If I'm playing a visual novel, I'll get 10 words easily, because visual novels love to use just random garbage. Light novel, depending on the genre, 10 words won't be too hard. And then same with the manga, couple episodes of anime, I can get 10 words, probably. Like 4 episodes, maybe 5 episodes. So yeah, I want to keep mining just to get to, like I said, to fill up those holes, even though they are more rare words and less frequently used. That's fine. I just want to fill up as many holes as possible so that I don't have to worry about it ever. Because, I don't know, I think it's cool that in English I don't need to look up words very often. Like, if I look up a word, it's just because I genuinely want to know the meaning, and not because I really need to, or that it means anything to my life. Next, because I already talked about that, so we're moving through some of these pretty quickly, just because why not. This piggybacks off of the Anki John, the most recent Anki one. bullet point. I don't want to become a crazy person who makes an Anki card for every unknown word, but the more and more I make cards again, the more I just want to get my vocab level to as high as I can realistically take it. I think it'd be super cool if by like the 10-year mark I've gotten to a point where it's surprising if there's a word that I come across and I don't know it or haven't at least seen it before. I don't know if that's actually realistic or not considering the large amount of words and language changing in general, but having covered most of the commonly used words in most media / stuff I come across would be really nice. I think my best chances of doing this are mine a lot from light novels and visual novels since written language uses so many more words than normal spoken language does. Basically what I just said. Yeah, I just want to get to a pretty cool spot, and if I don't get there, I don't get there. I don't really care. It's not something I'm freaking out about. It's just like, you know, I'll work towards it slowly but surely. 6 more years till the 10-year mark, so hopefully I'm better in 6 years, you would think, right? Next, my girlfriend's from Aomori, so they speak like a Hogan there, and let me tell you, that, it doesn't sound like Japanese. When I hear like her and her family talk, my brain goes, yeah? Like, what? Like, there's like half of the time I'm just like, yeah, you're not speaking Japanese. But because it's cool, like I told her, I'm like, I want you to like talk to me in that sometimes, and like slowly but surely I'll learn it and get used to it because I think it'd be cool. And like, what stupid foreigner knows that like specific like dialect from Aomori? Like, there's people out there that do, definitely 100%, but like I think it'd be funny if I know it too. So like, I'm not gonna speak in it probably, most likely, but like ever. But being able to understand and stuff, I think that's funny, and it'd be cool to know, and you know, why not level up your Japanese a bit. Next, all right, cool. My current plan with some things, with manga, my current plan is 1,000 manga volumes. I'm at, hold on, got a reminder on my watch. My current plan is 1,000 manga volumes, and I'm at 822, 23, and then I'll try and switch over to reading mainly light novels while just keeping up with serializing stuff for manga, occasionally reading new stuff whenever I'm interested. The reason for the 1,000 like goal type thing is when I started, I thought if I could read 1,000 volumes of manga and 500 light novels, then I can 100% consider myself fluent. So that's like my giant long-term goal that I'm working towards. At this rate, I'll definitely be able to hit 1,000 volumes of manga before the 5-year mark. One of the main reasons I say that is I just hit 800, but I read 103 volumes of manga in June. So in 1 month, I read over 100 volumes. So I only have, 180-ish left. I think in about a year, I can read 180 volumes of manga. So hopefully by a 5-year mark, we'll hit 1,000. And then I'll be switching over mainly to light novels. Because I'm at I don't even think I've hit 50 light novels. I'm at 48, I think. And it'll take a while to get from 48 to 500. But yeah, light novels will be the next big thing. Because manga, I've caught up on a bunch of series that I wanted to read. Finished a bunch of series I wanted to read. I still have a list that I'm going through and there's still some more series on there I haven't started yet, but I've hit the point where most things right now that I really want to read, I've either started, finished, or dropped. So I haven't hit the manga end game because obviously there's still new manga all the time, and I find things I want to read and I gotta catch up on things, but it's slowing down compared to when I started. I've finished a lot of series and I've gotten to a good spot in a lot. So once I hit 1,000, slow it down, switch over to light novels. It'll give me more density in language too, and there's a lot of series I want to read, and I need to dedicate more time to light novels if I want to get through them because I can't finish a light novel in a day. Spoiler alert, I'm unable. I think one of the ones I'm reading, it's only 60,000 characters, and I think my hold on. It's only 60,000 characters. I think my estimated time to completion was I just might be wrong. I think it was between around 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours, I think, at my top reading speed, which I think was like 21,000 characters an hour, which that's just because it's super easy, light novel, and it's only 60,000 characters. But so technically I could read one in a day. It's just I never have the energy or the want to sit down and read one fully in a day, so it doesn't happen. But manga I could read up to 7 volumes, like realistically 7 volumes a day, 5 volumes in a day. 5 is pretty doable. 7 is like, damn, like I went hard that day. So yeah, light novels will be the next big thing that we move towards. Next one. If you follow my Twitter, you know about this. I played through the entire Persona franchise that you can on PS5. Sorry, didn't do 1 or 2, because they're not released on like a modern day console yet. And I'm playing through 1 now on my Vita, but and I do want to play 1 and 2. It's not that I'm not going to. It's just I like platinum trophies on PlayStation, so I platinumed the entire Persona franchise, including Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne. Altogether, it took me about 900 hours to do all of them. They were all played in Japanese. I had a great time. I love Persona. I'm a loser now. Case in point. Look how cute it is. But I'm continuing that with Shin Megami Tensei 5 and Metaphor when that comes out. SMT 5 is already out. I haven't played it. I haven't bought it because I don't have money. But I'm going to eventually get that when I find it on sale at Book Off for like 5,000 yen. I'll pick that up. Metaphor I have pre-ordered, so I'm an Atlas loser now. So gonna play through those and platinum those as well. So by the end of this year, my Atlas playtime of games will be over 1,000 hours, which is crazy. I also want to play through all of the Yakuza games and get the platinums in them as well. I finished Yakuza 0, Kiwami, and Kiwami 2. So I gotta do 3. I'm just waiting on pulling the trigger on buying 3 because I like physical games a lot. So it goes on sale on PSN, but I want the physical one eventually, so I'm not gonna buy it twice. So buy the physical game. It's like 2,700 yen at the nearest Book Off, and I'm like, oh, with my money situation right now, it needs to be 2,000 yen or lower, or else I'm not buying it. So I'm waiting to do that, but once I do, I'll continue through the Yakuza series. Finally, I want to play through the Trails series, which I know is super long and new games come out, it seems like every 3 months for that damn series, but I want to go through that and play it. I think it'll be super long, but I think it'll be worth it. I also want to platinum them as well, so I have a lot ahead of me in terms of gaming, specifically on the PlayStation. Getting a lot of platinums. Yeah. Final one for the future plans. I also want to play through some big visual novels that are more well known, like Higurashi, Tsukihime, Muramasa, Fate. Not sure when this will happen, but I want to make my way through different types of media and at least get through the more famous stuff. Like even if I don't play every visual novel, those big ones like that everyone knows and the big names, I want to play through those because I want to be able to experience them and have an opinion and know what the story is like. But I'm really bad at playing visual novels. Super bad at it. So I don't know when this will happen, but I do want to get through them definitely. Speaking of Higurashi, went to Akihabara for the Atlas Cafe a week ago. Went to Traders. You gotta always, everyone knows you go to Traders, you're going up to that aerogay floor, okay? You gotta go, okay? Floor 6, maybe 7. You know, if you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. That shit's awesome. All the VNs, mainly aerogay, but a lot of VNs. There's some normal ones there. I bought this for 1,900 yen. It's a Higurashi box Higurashi game. How do you read this? Is this Go Plus? I think it's Go. I don't know, but it has a bunch of the original routes. I have the PS4 version, which I think is the definitive version. So that's what I'm gonna play it on. But when I saw this and it was so cheap, I had to go for it. And when I opened it, I was like, oh yeah, hell yeah, glad that I bought this. And I'll quick show it off. Got this card. Probably a guy from the game. I didn't play that much of what I played, so I'm not sure. Pretty sick. I'm not saying the names of the characters because I forget them and I don't want to look like an idiot. that. Got some pins. Focus. There we go. And then the coolest thing, besides the game, obviously, the game is also there. It's just the case just looks like this. Was this like, I don't know what these are called, but it's like a block that's like, ooh. But like it has like art inside, and when you turn it on the angle, like you can see the art like reflecting and all that. But like it 1,900 yen for all this and the game. I was like amazed when I opened it. I was like, oh hell yeah, glad I bought it, worth it. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So I just wanted to show that when I mentioned Higurashi. All right, I have another game, but I cannot show you that. Sorry, YouTube does not like that. But all right. So the final section is just titled Random Thoughts. We're also at 51 minutes. We're closing on an hour. I should probably also write down 51 minutes so that I know for when I timestamp this. I've talked about a lot. Probably missed some things that people want me to talk about. Like I said before, ask in the comments, ask me on Discord. I'll get back to you. I'll get all the questions answered as much as I can. Still think that the biggest and most important thing when not just learning Japanese but learning any language is to just jump into native content as soon as you have your footing, so that you're not just stockpiling theoretical knowledge, which is just a bunch of things out of context. That's not saying day one start watching unsubtitled TV shows, movies, reading like novels, but once you learn like even 100 words, like, but once you hit like 500 total words, maybe 100% once you hit 500, like actually 75% once you hit 500, once you've hit 1,000 words and like you've read over like some basic grammar and stuff, and you're like semi-aware of some grammar stuff, go to native content and then continue what you're doing. Learn more words. If it's through a pre-made deck, that's fine. If not, start sentence mining if you really want to. But pre-made decks are fine. People shit on them for understandable reasons, but at the beginning, use it until you can sentence mine really with no problems, and then you'll have more fun that way. I did. But yeah, as soon as you hit like the 1,000 words in basic grammar, incorporate native material into your study plan daily, so that you can actually put things to work and start like connecting the dots. And yeah, then you continue looking up some grammar, reading over grammar guides, maybe watching some videos, looking up grammar points as they come up if you want to, but don't put a crazy amount of effort into it, and then just continue learning words. You do that, you'll be fine. Like that's all you got to do. I still think that you should do that as soon as you can, because if you're not, you're wasting time. Okay, maybe you're not wasting time, but the difference between native content and moving forward and just stacking up that theoretical, like, oh, I know 500 kanji or I know 5,000 words, but you haven't watched a single episode of, like, if you like anime, if you haven't watched an episode of anime without English subtitles or with only Japanese subtitles, I think you're just, like, wait, the way I worded that sounded weird. If you're at that point where you know a couple thousand words and a couple hundred kanji, for some reason you care about learning kanji, which also you don't need to do, out of context stuff again. But if you're at that point and you still are only watching anime with English subtitles and you've never watched it unsubbed or with Japanese subtitles, it's not like your knowledge doesn't matter or that it's not worth it. It's just you're kind of not doing it to the fullest, and you can make a bunch of easy gains because you have that giant footing that maybe you built it up a little too long, but you have that giant footing. You start doing the native content, you'll progress and get way better very quickly because you already have a bunch in the backlog. You just gotta unlock it. It's like if you see a silhouette of like a character, you gotta do the final thing to unlock it. Like if there's like no silhouette, that's the beginning. Then you learn those words, grammar points and stuff. but you don't do native content, you see the silhouette. When you start doing the native content and doing everything else, the silhouette turns into like the full art, and it's like, it's great. And then the more you do it, the art gets more detailed and detailed. The more you do everything. So it's not a waste of time. It's not, you're not an idiot. Definitely not. I did that stuff at the beginning too before immersion. But once you use the native content is when things really unlock, and I think you should do that as soon as you can, even though it sucks. It sucks at first. Straight up, it sucks. But once you get into it and you use the if you think about it like the silhouette unlocking, every time that silhouette turns into an art, you'll know. When you're watching something, you notice a word, or you understand a new sentence or a new like episode or manga, it feels like you just leveled up a little bit. And like, especially at the beginning, you feel that very consistently, and use that as your motivation rather than, I learned my 550th word. Like, that doesn't matter as much. Use like the understanding of the native content as like your level up system, and use that as motivation to keep going. And if you do that, you're chilling, okay? You'll be fine. Next one. Japanese is hard, but it's also not hard. You just need to do it for a long time and continuously learn more words, and eventually everything makes sense and it feels natural. That's the hard part. If someone asks me if Japanese is hard, my answer is no. Because to me now, Japanese, there's no real difficulty. Everything makes sense. Like, if it's like, oh, well, why do you use this instead of this? It's like, it just feels natural, and it makes sense that it's the way it is. It's not like, oh, it's hard, I don't know how to understand it. It just like, everything clicks, and it's like, oh yeah, of course, obviously. Like, I think I've said this before, but sometimes I hear Japanese words, and I just like, the meaning is so ingrained within me that it's not like, how do I say this? I literally cannot understand how you could not understand it that way. Like, I've forgotten the feeling of not understanding it to the point where it's like, oh yeah, obviously this means this, and it just means that. Like, it makes sense. Of course it does. Like, anyone should hear this, and it means that. But obviously not anyone can hear it and it means that, because they don't have, like, the intuition or have heard it or seen it a 1,000 million times. But it's something, you get to that point where it's just like, yeah, obviously. Like, in your head, you're like, obviously this means this. Even though it's not obvious at all. It just feels that way because it's become obvious to you. And that's awesome. And so that's why it's not hard. The hard part is doing it for a long time and consistently so that it gets to that point. Once it gets to that point, nothing is hard. But the hard part is doing the correct steps and everything to make it get to that point. So Japanese is not hard, but it's also hard. As with any language, probably. The hard part is just doing it. The language itself isn't hard because the language becomes easier the more you do it. It's just how it works. You need to get used to it. And when you get used to it after thousands and thousands of hours, it stops being hard because your brain just gets it. You just get it. If there's something you don't understand right now, that's fine. Move on. In a year, you might understand it. You might understand it in a week or a month. If there's something you don't understand, don't freak out about it. Just move forward. There's so much that you could understand that you're neglecting because you're focusing on the one thing that you don't understand or can't understand at the moment. So just go. Just move forward. Keep going. Always keep moving. Learn what you can. If you can't learn it, that's fine. Move on. Come back to it. Eventually you'll get there. It's just about waiting. It's all it is. Mentioned this earlier with the manga stuff, but manga is still awesome. I love it. I want everyone to read manga, read more manga. I liked manga before learning Japanese. Didn't like it to the amount that I like it now. So I recommend everyone try reading some manga. If you want to know where to get manga, you can DM me. But yeah, manga is awesome. And I attribute most of my Japanese to manga. When people ask me how did I learn Japanese, my answer is I read a bunch of manga. Honestly, I say that to everyone. I'm like, I read a bunch of manga. And it's awesome, and the pictures help. Good variety of words. It's awesome. Read manga. If you don't like it, that's fine. But I think it's truly an amazing way to get better. So, highly recommend. This is my last bullet point, and we're almost at the hour mark, so that's fitting, and that's cool. Before I read this, thank you guys all so much. If you watched this far, I really appreciate it. I hope this video was helpful or interesting, because, like, I'm just rambling. But Really appreciate everyone watching this. Means a ton. So, final one. I'm surprised that I've reached 4 years, and I don't even know if when I started immersing that I believed that I would stick with it and get to where I am. It still doesn't feel real sometimes, and I have to remind myself that yes, it's not a dream, and I did this. That's true feelings. When I started, obviously I wanted to do this, but when you start something that is going to turn into a multi-year long commitment at the end of it, you don't know if you're actually going to fulfill the commitment. You would hope to, and you want to, and that's why you're doing it. But things might happen, it might not happen. 4 years ago, I don't know if I would have thought that Japanese would be this normal in my life, and I'd be living in Japan, and all of this. It truly does not feel real. I wake up sometimes, I walk outside, and I'm like, oh, I'm in Japan. Because, like, it's just something that, like, I worked for a long time, and something I wanted for a long time. And the fact that I'm living that reality of where I got what I wanted is truly mesmerizing. And I think everyone who works towards something over a long period of time gets this feeling. But just when you really sit back and you think, damn, I am at the place that I wanted to reach a long time ago. The place I dreamed of, that's where I am right now. And when you think about that, it's hard not to get a little emotional and a little sentimental about things. It's truly incredible, and I didn't do it alone. Obviously, I did all the stupid grinding immersion, sit in my room reading, watching stuff all alone. But I learned how to do that from people on the internet. I talked to friends about doubts if I had them. I learned a lot from like everyone watching this video. Just like if I follow you on Twitter and you're learning Japanese, I've probably learned something from you. Like, because your tweets might have helped me or made me want to do something, and in the end that benefited my Japanese. And so it's not as much as this is you got to do it. When you can get power from like the people around you and get motivation, it truly becomes like a we're all in this together type of thing, and it's pretty cool. And I'm super grateful, and that's why like everyone watching the videos, like, it's not just thanks for watching my YouTube video, woo, yay. It's like, if I know who you are and we've interacted in some way and you're learning Japanese, there's a good chance that I learned something from you, or because of you I watched something or read something or did something, which then helped me. So you're directly responsible for me getting here. Like, everyone watching this is directly responsible in some way for me getting to this Japanese level, and that's why it's not something I take lightly or think of like, oh yeah, whatever. It's been a crazy 4 years, and the fact that like I can see myself in 4 more years being like, man, it's been a crazy 8 years. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. Hopefully this video, right now it's July 5th. Hopefully this video gets uploaded within the next day or two, and you guys can watch this. And yeah, thank you guys so much. In the description I'll have like my Discord, my Twitter, all that jazz. If you really want to, go back, watch my other videos, give me a nice subscribe. We're almost at 1,000 subs. Well, we're at like 830 almost, but like, that's cool. When I was a kid I wanted to be a YouTuber, so if I can hit 1,000 subs on this channel one day, mainly because of Japanese stuff, I'll be super happy. That'd be just really cool. But yeah, if there's anything you guys need, anything, questions, advice, anything, hit me up. Like, as much as I'm bad at responding to things, I want to respond and I want to help people. So don't feel afraid. And I don't care who you are. Like, I'll respond. Like, I'm not like, ew, who is this guy? I'm not responding. I'll respond to anyone if you send me a DM. I don't care. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Probably will see you guys in a year for the 5-year update, assuming I do that, because it seems like even if I say I'm not doing an update the next year, I end up doing it anyway. But yeah, I don't see I might make it, maybe I'll get the motivation to make a YouTube video between now and then, but right now, next video that you will see 100% is my 5-year update in a year. So stay tuned. Hope your studies go well, and I really appreciate everything. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.